Tony Hawkins has got a podcast. I hope he's better at this than he is washing the kit because he was fucking useless.
Right, go.
And we're back.
We're back. Happy New Year
Happy New Year.
to everyone.
Except for those that we don't like or disagree with us.
Right, here's a list.
It's a very long list.
Yeah,
this
it's a
could be
long
2
list.
podcasts this
Could
week.
be.
Just the one with the people we don't like and the stuff about the football.
Right, football. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
I tell you what, though, it's a relief to have games to talk about.
It is.
Because what we're going to talk about next week, I don't know.
Yeah, I forgot. We haven't even got a Tuesday game, have we?
No.
No.
I've looked. There was only one other game.
I was all
February.
ready to go to Bury this Saturday.
Why? Don't do that, because
No.
you'd have been wrong anyway. It's
No,
not
exactly.
them, it would have been
I
Oldham,
don't,
wouldn't
I
it?
don't look at the fixture list. That's my problem.
I do.
Sometimes I look on the I look at my phone and I think, shit, have we got a game?
That's good for games in hand, though.
It is, because those are the sort of games that I will forget, though.
Yes.
I will.
I've forgotten
One day
about
I
it.
will forget to go to a game. I guarantee it. 11 years, I've not missed a game at
No,
home.
I've never forgotten to go.
No.
I did once go to work on a Sunday when the clocks had changed without realising they'd changed.
Yeah, we've had a few of those.
And I was like...
You also get people.
In fact, to be honest, I was the only bloke there.
I've seen it on a New Year's Day game as well before, or one of the Easter games where it might be a Monday or a Tuesday. Or
Remember
whatever.
that time on the Moo Camp when that girl couldn't work out when the clocks changed? Remember that? Dude, God, that was the funniest thing.
Some people do really struggle with it, and to be fair,
Spring forward, fall back.
spring forward, fall back, but
Easy.
then explaining to people. No, I'm not even. We're not. No.
Oh,
no, I'm not gonna
I've
attempt
put the
it.
heater on, I'll turn that off.
Is the heat here?
Can't have the heating on.
Shall we have a? Shall we start from the beginning then?
Yeah, start from the beginning, go.
Colchester.
Colchester. I've written
all
here.
I've got to say,
Go on.
their goal.
I've put the best team at MK.
Yes, they were. They were very good. Now this is something that I don't really talk about a lot because, again, it's one of those things that's difficult to communicate to people how it actually works. Now, and again, I could be wrong, but I'm not. This is how I saw. This is how I saw their goal, right? So
I'll be honest with you.
It's off the training ground.
It's been
and all
such a
that sort
long
of thing.
time ago, I can't even remember.
Well, it was a corner. The bloke ran not towards the near post, but he ran forward towards the ball, and then he flicked it over.
Oh, I remember, yeah. I remember.
And it went
Now
over
you've
Lee's
said
head and
that,
into
yeah.
the net.
Yeah,
Right?
I remember.
So you could say that's one off the training
was a
ground.
good
They'll
goal.
never be able to do it again. But they must have known what was missing at that corner.
Man in the post.
No man on either post.
There you
So
go.
as long as it went over Lee's head, it was going in. And to me, that's not just about a training ground move.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
That's good research. That's good analysis. Watching videos of us, seeing there must be. I mean, it's the only time that I've noticed it that we don't. I don't know. Again, I haven't looked again, but we didn't have men on the post. So
I can't think if we
for
ever
me,
have men on the
that's
post,
good
quite
homework, and they beat us at our own game basically.
No, I mean, I've no. I'd rather have won, but I've got no complaints. They were the better team. It's as simple as that. You can't win every game.
Yeah.
Not going to go unbeaten at home, and it's as simple as that. They were the better
I think
team.
if we got a point, we would have been very, very pleased with it.
Yeah, I would have been.
Because
I mean, I would have been happier to have 3 points, but
I mean, they looked no closer to scoring after that goal
No.
than we did either.
they didn't look.
So it had.
I mean,
to
they
be
were the best
something-
team I've seen,
Yeah,
and they were better than us on the day.
yeah. I mean, the first 20 minutes of the second half, we had all the possession, we had all the pressure, we just didn't score, and that can't last for 45 minutes.
No.
You can't, that's not against a team like Colchester anyway. We didn't score in that 20-minute period where we were bang on top, and then obviously sort of the moment was gone. But I don't think I can't disagree with the result.
No,
It was a very well worked goal. Clearly done their homework, and yeah.
I'll tell you what did
the
piss
better
me
team
off,
won.
and I wonder if I'm the only person that noticed this.
Yeah.
What you've been saying about celebrating. This is not celebrating an away goal, like an away team's goal, but when they scored, one of their subs on their bench took his pink bib off and swirled it around his head. And I thought, you cheeky bastard.
There was definitely a little bit in there somewhere.
There
And
was
I-
a bit of niggle in that
I don't
game,
know
yeah.
why. There is a little bit of history with us and Colchester going back a few years. Remember I told you about the
I remember you, Big
the
George.
to-do with Big George, me and Carl in the tunnel. That was a few
I'm
years
trying to
ago,
think.
and there was a bit
Nothing
of.
about them, was
I don't know if you saw Toby Locke and Luke Ashmead tweeting about disrespectful behaviour from the Colchester fans singing and shouting as they were coming down the tunnel.
They were stamping their feet, weren't they?
Whilst they were doing
I watched that video 2 or 3 times and I couldn't find them doing that.
There's no point in pointing out, but I think it's worth a mention because it happens after every single game. You know, I mean, after a game I was clearing up. You always knew if you were going back outside or you're going past an interview, just keep it nice and quiet, because otherwise they're going to have to start again. The people who have been interviewed get pissed off because they don't want to be there for too long. And anyway, that's besides the point. The better team won, and let's move on.
Yep, can't complain about that.
Cheltenham, we lost 3-1.
Cheltenham, we've had a report.
Oh, excellent. All right, let's have a go then. Go on in. Oh, I got one match
Screenshot
report yesterday in the bar, which was just ugh. So that was the one I got.
I would like to say that of all the football stadiums that I've ever been to, but it's got the best name of any football stadium.
Is that the Johnny Rocks?
Johnny Rocks?
It is, isn't
How
it?
cool
Johnny
is
Rocks.
that?
It is. I don't know.
But it's like a taxi firm or something.
Is that what it is?
It's something
like
right,
that. One of those local names.
It's good though, isn't it? Johnny Rocks.
Yeah.
What a brilliant name for a stadium.
What's that one in Ireland? The
Bejesus.
the
Bejesus.
The Bejesus Bigora Stadium.
Well, there you. Yeah, Johnny Rocks.
Go on, let's have this Cheltenham.
No, I've taken a picture of this, so you don't have to bear with me. Right, this is from a fella called Harpendon from the Concrete Roundabout. It said, "Seen you were looking for a match report for Cheltenham. First thing, it's a long journey for a Boxing Day fixture. It's even further if you get beaten, he's put.
Yeah.
Was pretty similar to Colchester game to me, he says. Beaten by a well-drilled team who recognised we had a makeshift defence and pressured us at every opportunity. Their first 2 were well worked and stretched us ragged. We played the usual wing-back system, but our wing-backs really got near the byline. So, sorry, I'm scrolling back. The further up the pitch we got, the narrower we became, and it wasn't difficult for them to pack central defence and stop us. Adopted the high ball from the front to back for most of the game, particularly the second half, but we never really troubled them. In short, they played better than us and deserved the points." He says, on a positive note, he left bang on full time and he was back home just before 7 o'clock.
That's not too bad.
That's good for him.
That's not too bad on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
All that traffic that just appears from nowhere and then disappears.
Disappears again.
Yeah, I went out New Year's Day morning. Not a car to be seen.
No.
Not
Been quiet.
Today
Today was quiet, I must admit.
Yeah, it was actually. Got out of the.
I was pleased.
Got to work in about 7 minutes.
The old London was quiet.
The old London.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, they were on bed and none of them would get up, so I just came home.
Well, they don't. They only work 3 days a week, don't they? They get paid so much.
Oh, sorry. There's an addendum to this, which I've
yes.
not seen. He said, no need to panic. We are still second, but we could really do with Walsh and JMT back.
JMT on the bench again yesterday.
He was,
Good
yep.
to see. Yeah, I mean, throughout this, looking at this statistically, there were 12 points up for grabs. We came out of it with 4.
That's a poor...
But we never dropped below second.
When we came away from Northampton on Saturday, we were driving back and my lad said that exact same thing.
And we are now...
So we've got a point,
we now have the best goal difference. We have...
Yes.
A high...
That did come up yesterday.
Yesterday made a big difference. So should we move straight on to...
We're flying through these, I thought this
Cobblers.
Cobblers, I was there.
As was I. I would like to say... I'll ask you a question then.
Go on then, I'm ready, I was
Do
there.
you think it was a fair point? Do you think Northampton overall deserved the point?
No, I don't, no.
Would you argue that they may have deserved the point, but we still should have won because we were 2-0 up?
No, I think we deserved to win because we were better than them and they were crap.
Yeah. And that their second goal was one of those things. I think Lee may be thinking, what if he'd have stayed on his line, would that have helped? He didn't. He came out, it went over his head. I mean, the lad did well to flick it over his own head to the bloke who then flicked it over Lee, I think it was.
They were another team looking at them. I thought that they'd found their level because they were, like, I know it's alright saying it, oh, it was 2-2, but that was never a 2-2 game from me, never. I thought they were a pile of shite, to be quite honest.
Yeah, it was a great crowd.
It was a good crowd, yeah. See them all running on the pitch when they scored? That was exciting, wasn't it?
There's no rivalry there.
Not at all.
It means nothing. It means
to
nothing to them.
Not a thing.
No, absolutely
nothing to
nothing.
them.
And the one out of all how many people ran on the pitch, I don't know, but the one bloke who got the shit kicked out of him.
They were all running. Did you see them? Because we were sat right. If you look onto the pitch, we were behind the goal, so we were right to the bottom corner to the right hand side.
Yeah.
So we were as far away from them as it's possible to be, but we were looking obviously. And one went on and on. There was quite a lot of stewards, wasn't there? There was about hundreds of police, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was hundreds of police. That's not an exaggeration to say that.
Well, we went by train, and there was a couple of coppers at Milton Keynes. They were following a particular group, I know that.
Yeah.
And when we left, we went into the Wetherspoons and got in a cab about 2 o'clock, I think it was. And as we drove past the train station, there was a large amount of police outside the station, waiting for this.
It was funny though
group.
when they were like young, weren't they? They're always young, aren't they? The
Yeah.
people, but
Yeah.
I mean, they ran on the pitch at the other end, didn't they? And like Harry we'd scored the goal, well done. But this one guy, he ran on and he just got absolutely. It was like rugby, wasn't it? Just took him out, and I thought,
Of all
he's
the
like
people, and it's
12 years old.
he
That
must
bloke.
have thought,
Leave
oh
him.
shit, they've got me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were still second at that point as well.
We've
It
got
felt,
a point.
It felt like a loss.
It did. It felt.
It's one of those, and it felt like a win for them. It would have.
I mean, I've said to you before we started recording, but the bloke sat next to me with about 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Said, "That's it. Then that's it. We got our 3 points there. They ain't going to score." And then they scored, and I said, "I wish you hadn't said that, mate." And he goes, "Oh, they won't score again. No chance."
You just can't
And
say
I
that.
just thought, mate.
You
And
can't
I'm not joking
say
when I
that.
say that. He's the guy. Shall I tell them the thong story?
Yeah, you got to.
The assistant referee, as everyone that was here would know, was Shan Massey. Now, you can say what you like about her, and we've said some things off air about her,
Yeah.
but she is.
Not because
No.
she's female, but
Not because
she
she's
made a
woman.
mistake at a match which many people will remember,
But
which cannot be forgiven, male or female, regardless. Doesn't matter. The mistake she made was unforgivable, basically.
oh no, we're not having a go at her because she's a woman, but you've got to remember us,
People will look at you
yeah,
in a
differently,
different
yes.
light because
well, this
you
guy
are female.
certainly did.
Yeah.
So this bloke sitting next to me, he sees it's her, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, I recognise that referee. I can't think of his name, but he's like a Premiership referee, and there was Premiership games on, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I thought, that's weird. I wonder what he's doing here. Maybe he's had a shit last game. So I looked and I goes, oh, there's that woman. So anyway, and I'm thinking to myself, so this guy goes, ah, she's shit. This bloke sitting next to me goes, she's rubbish, she is. And I thought to myself, well, she's not, is she? Because you can say what you like about her, but she's an assistant referee week in, week out in the highest league in the world. So
undoubtedly gets the most abuse.
yes, because she's a woman.
Yeah.
But what he said was right, and he was with a woman. I don't know if it was his wife, but they were together. And he turned round, and this bloke said, and he goes, "I bet she's wearing a thong." And that was it. And I just thought, mate, of all the years to be saying shit like this, when you've got this Me Too thing, and you think, I thought to myself, what an unreconstituted dinosaur of a man. And I mean, that was it. I just think he doesn't like her because she's a woman. So he's first
no other reason. No
thought
other reason.
is that
She's shit because she's a woman. Yeah.
I thought that he was alright, that referee. He's got to be alright, and he was alright. He's a good.
I
Didn't make any mistakes, did he? He gave a penalty. It was a penalty.
Yeah, I do. There is a part of me
Did you
that
see that
thinks he
picture
was making
someone put
up
up?
for the Gilby one that he didn't give. Now, obviously, we were at the other end of the pitch, but it did look like a clear. I don't know if it was actually in the box or not, but it definitely looked like a free kick to me, or a foul. What I will say is fair play to him for giving a penalty, which yes, he should have done because he was pulling Chucks' shirt. But
was. We
you
could see it from where we were
you
sat.
so often do not see those given.
That
And
wasn't
it
just
also
like a pull of the shirt.
Well,
I mean,
it wasn't. He had him for a while. I mean,
that was more than
a second feels like an awful long time when someone's pulling your shirt. And there is nothing more annoying when you're playing football and someone's got your
Especially
shirt.
you've got to wash them, Tony, and they're all
Yeah,
stretched.
exactly. And they do rip. It's the fact that he gave the penalty, and that sent a message to the Northampton players. That sent a message to the Northampton players. You can't do that.
No.
If you can't stop Chucks, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to try and frustrate him. You're going to try, but if you're going to do it like that, if you're going to pull shirts, then the referees sort of said early on, I'm giving a penalty because you've pulled his shirt. There is absolutely no argument against that, and he's done well to get it in early.
He has.
Because it would have made it. They would have just kept doing it and doing it and doing it.
Yeah, they had nothing. They had one bloke. Well, that guy gave McCrandles about 1.5 yards start once on the wing, and he just quite literally went past him as if he was standing still at one point. I thought, oh, he's fast, he's good. He was their best player. He was the only one I noticed, but you only noticed him because basically he was playing right in front of where I was sat, but he was fast.
Yeah.
And he like skinned McCrandles like constantly. Which I felt a bit sorry for him because he's taking that mask off and everything for his big day.
Yes. Yeah, now we know who he is.
I recognised him, right? Speaking about things, did you recognise Jabo yesterday?
He's lost about 3
That's what I
stones.
said to someone who goes, he's half the man he used to be, look at him. And he's got a hair. Remember Kid and Play?
Yeah.
That's what haircut he had. It's brilliant. Anyway, we'll get back to him later
He
on.
went, friend of mine, you know Nobby? Nobby's Tyres, Nobby?
I've heard of Nobby's
Yeah,
Tyres.
he's very, very good friends with Jabo, has been for years. See him before the game, he said, Jabo's coming around mine for dinner after the game. Can you imagine that conversation?
How can you
That
say?
would have been the most awkward.
How did it
What do you
go
talk
then?
about? Yeah, well, what do you think of the game then, Jabo? Oh, yeah, not gonna talk about that.
Well,
And good to see
talk about him
Luke
in a
Chadwick,
minute.
although I didn't
I
actually
didn't
see
see
him.
him either.
I missed him by about 30 seconds
No,
when he did
didn't see
the just before the man of the match presentation.
So, are we done with Northampton or anything else to say?
Northampton, yeah. Good
oh.
on the old fan test. Shows the fans are growing up a little bit. Daniel Powell got a good reception when he came on.
He did, yeah.
I'd like
clapped
to
him.
see that a lot. Our fans have had a history of booing ex-players, and even those with long histories.
It didn't matter because he was a load of nonsense anyway when he came on. He did nothing, did he?
There's so much promise in those. I always remember his pre-seasons for about 4 years in a row, just like, yes, God, yes, this is it. And then, yeah.
He was a one-trick pony, and when it worked all right.
Yeah.
That cutting in from the wing, running into the box and hammering it.
And then
towards
putting it in the
goal.
bottom corner.
But
yeah.
9 times out of 10, he missed, you know.
I think when he got into that position, it usually was either on target or pulled up, made a good save. But once players work him out,
Yeah.
if you keep him on his left foot, don't let him come in on
I
his
think when
right.
he was worked out, he was gone, wasn't
Yeah. So,
But yeah, good luck to him. Nothing against him. He was all right. Nice enough bloke. Nearly bring me over once.
did he?
He did, honestly.
It is giant.
He had a
4x4.
little white BMW at the time.
Oh yeah, he had a one series for a while.
And I was
think,
being, it was a small one, and I was being picked up by my wife after the match. I went to the Red Dot Bar after it, and I was walking across to Asda. You know, the car, the raised pedestrian crossing. I walked across it, and a car was bombing straight towards me, and I thought, this wanker's not going to stop. So I jumped out the way, and as he drove past, it was Daniel Powell.
Yeah.
I thought, you bastard, I've just paid this.
Get that all the time over there. Really used to wind me up.
But Daniel Powell running people over. Bloody hell, I'm not surprised.
Football is like just tunnel vision. Don't want to be harassed by the fans.
No.
Well, it's not really going to happen, is it?
No,
Let's be
not
honest.
in Milton Keynes, mate.
Right then.
Well, let's get to the good bit. All the shit bits out there.
Cambridge.
Cambridge. Oh, they were shit.
2 words I've put immediately after the word Cambridge.
Fucking
quick
shit.
play. Quick play. Even at 4-0, Lee was running behind the goal to get the ball back, to get it down, to take the kicks. And
Do you think they were out to make a point?
well, this goes back to the point I made when we played Oldham. And I was disappointed to see Lee falling on the ball.
Ah, right.
And
yeah,
I thought to
remember.
myself, I don't want to see that because that's Robbie Nielsen's thing,
Yeah.
and that's where Lee's got that from. He wouldn't have wanted to do that unless he was told to do it. And your players get programmed and they play a certain way, and it's difficult to get them out of the way they play. A new manager comes in and says, right, I don't want you to do that, I want you to do this. So again, I'm not saying that Paul Tisdale saw what I saw, because that would just be arrogant of me to suggest that I was as
Tony-
clever as Paul Tisdale. But Lee hasn't done it since.
He's not done it since you've
And
mentioned it
as
on
I say,
here.
Even at 4-0, there was no hints of just settling, wasting time and just playing around. It was, let's go and get another
I was
one,
really
another
pleased
one.
that we kept going. I mean, we had a one disallowed, don't forget that.
Yes, which I didn't think was offside at all, because I was pretty much in line with
It was a bit of
that.
a scramble, wasn't
And I
it?
think he took off a good 2 yards behind the last man. But yeah, you can't get them all. You
No.
can't get them all.
I mean, they were just... You're sitting watching them, it was like... Well, it was 12 minutes, wasn't it? And we were 3-0 up.
I think we can both agree they're the worst team.
They are the worst
By-
team
by
I've seen
some
there,
distance.
ever. I mean, they had no idea where they were supposed to be, have they? They were
couldn't.
sticking their leg out, and you think, well, I could do that. I could stick
Yeah.
my leg out. Make more of a effort. They had no, like, shape, did they?
No. We pulled them about all over the place. I mean, what was it, 3-0 after 12, 13 minutes?
It was 12 minutes. I remember looking at it and thinking,
Yeah.
oh, we're 3-0 up now. These
And
blokes have had it.
you had, well, 3 very, very good goals. Particularly the third was excellent.
Whose was the third? Chuck's.
Third was Chuck's, was it?
Yeah.
It
I
went,
watched them
it was
tonight.
Healy.
Just before.
It was Healy.
Healy.
Header by Cags.
Asgard.
We'll come. I'll actually play that on my phone for you later, boys and girls, because anybody that watches the Football League thing on Quest...
I've never once watched it.
I generally don't listen to the analysis. I just watch the goals. But
see, when I watch Match of the Day, it's exactly the opposite from me.
I hate the analysis.
No, I love the analysis in Match
the
of the
reason
Day.
I hate the analysis is for the very reason I'm going to play this clip from last night's show.
Yeah, but Match
later.
of the Day, they get proper footballers.
Yeah,
in
it
them,
just goes to show that the people on there
they
don't actually
and Shiro.
watch any lower league football, and they just basically go on
other ones.
notes that I'm given to them. I'm sure. So aside from winning 6-0, I've also got here Kieran Agard getting back. 80 minutes gone, and he's back in his own penalty box defending.
Yes. Oh, we did.
A lot of fans will have missed that, but he did it more than once. In fact, I can remember 3 separate occasions where he did it. There was
they did hit the post, didn't they, and hit the bar.
farcical post on the Facebook group, which popped up on my feed, and I don't know why, because I don't want to be part of it. I don't want to see the shit that's on there. And there was a bloke moaning about...
to sell this to people, don't slag them off.
A bloke moaning about Kieran Agard's touch in the warm-up, to which someone later replied, yeah, and he had 2 bounce off him as well into the net, so... Again, it's our fans just... clearly, they've got nothing to say, so they think, what can I moan about?
I mean, we won.
Well, let's moan about the joint second top goal scorer in League 2 then, shall we?
You've just... Alright, they were shit. But like I said a minute ago, they did hit the post and they did hit the bar. Lee made one half-decent save, wasn't he, where there was kind of a bit of a scramble. If they'd gone in, we would have beat them 6-3.
Yeah.
But 6 goals is a good return, but 6-0, I mean, they were just... Like I said a minute ago, they were just a massive
If we'd have come away, it sounds a bit silly, if we'd have come away with a 3-0 win, people were moaning at half-time that we were probably only going to win 3-0. I think, really...
I can't really remember.
Sorry, apologise. The players should apologise for scoring 3 goals so early. They really should, because it's ruined the game for everybody.
I can't remember ever seeing a game where any team that I've watched have been 3-0 up as quick as that.
No, I don't remember that.
I mean, that killed it for,
promotion.
It didn't, but...
The promotion day, I know we were 4-0 up at half time, but I don't know how early. But that was a stroll, as was last night. It's not a stroll because football's not
you think
that
they
simple,
were worse than Yeovil at that time on that last day?
I would say yes, simply because Yeovil were already down.
Yeah.
They knew they were going to get a kick in. And Cambridge, I mean, their fans were cheering a corner.
That was a
proper cheering a corner, which is hilarious. I love a bit of gallows humour.
They were booing
a lot.
I mean, they were booing very early on, and you think, well, you guys must know what's coming, because I couldn't figure out what each individual player was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
They had one guy there, and he was number 19. And I'm looking at him and I thought, you look about 12 years old, mate. You're so thin, you've got nothing. Then you've got Jabo, like we said a minute ago. I mean, I did say to someone at half time, I said, it says a lot, and I don't want to slag Jabo off because I thought he was alright as a bloke.
Yeah.
But I did say to someone, think about this. He's their main striker. Yeah. And he's just, when he hit that ball and it went, said, there it is right there. When he had that one shot and it went right over, that nearly hit me in the face, that did. It landed 2 rows in front of me. And we sit quite near the back of the cowshed.
It was high and mighty, that one. Over the last 2-3 weeks, people have been talking about substitutions, players who aren't playing, players who should be playing, players should be playing in certain positions and so on. Now, as you know, I know everything.
You do, Tony?
But I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story.
Dead, isn't he? Max Bygones.
Max Bygones. Max dead and bygone. So, managers pick teams based on, obviously, A, their ability.
Yep.
B, playing in the right position.
Yep.
If they're not playing in the right position, can they play? And there's a million things to think about when you're picking a team. Have I told you the story about a game where the manager gave me the team sheet for the game, and I was looking at it, and it looked to me like...
Which manager are we talking about?
This is Carl.
Right, okay.
It looked to me like he'd put Dean Bowditch in the squad at number 10. Now, he'd been out for a little while, I think, and he hadn't really shown any... I don't know, he hadn't shown any reason...
Ability?
He hadn't shown any reason why he should play number 10 in front of anybody else that could have played in that position that day. So I looked at this team sheet, and I looked at it for a good 15 minutes, and I thought, I've got to go and ask, because the way the dressing room was set out under Carl was in formation. So it was goalkeeper, then you would have your two centre backs sat next to the goalkeeper. Then you'd have your right back and your right wing, then your left back and your left wing, then your two central midfielders.
I thought they all had their own space.
Oh, they do, but you want to keep them as a group.
Okay.
So basically, the formation goes: the players who sit next to each other, the ones that are most likely to be communicating with each other on the pitch, and at half time and before the game. So it went, it goes goalkeeper, two central defenders, right back, right wing, left back, left wing, two central midfielders, your number 10, and then your number 9. So not in number order. It's in formation, right, in their positions. Okay, so he's given me this, and the only thing I can look at this is that he's put Dean Bowditch in at number 10, and I thought I've got to go and ask, because I need to know this, because I've got to set the kit out. So I went into his office, said, Gaffer, I just want to check, is Bodes playing number 10 on Saturday? He went, yeah, why? What's the problem? I went, I just wanted to check. He said, do you not think that's right? I said, I'm just surprised. I'm just surprised that he's playing at number 10. I'm not criticising. I said, you're the manager. You know the score. So he said, the reason Dean Bowditch is playing number 10 is because Dean Bowditch is perfect for this game, playing at number 10.
Aha.
And I said, okie dokie. Didn't believe a fucking word of it. So went out, put the kit out, played the game. We won 6-0. Bowditch scored 2 goals, best game of the season for him. And after the game, of course, Carl made a point of coming up to me and saying,
"See, told you."
And it's funny, Alan Smith used to have some great stories about Alex Ferguson.
I bet he did.
Every morning he would arrive ridiculously early because he had a shit drive from wherever he lived.
Who did?
Alan Smith.
All right, not Fergie.
So he'd usually be in before me. He'd be sat in the laundry room with a cup of tea waiting for us to come in, and we'd have good old long chats. And he was telling us about Alex Ferguson pulled him into his office one afternoon, and he said, Smudge, Everton, mate, you're the man for that one. That's your game, that is, son. You were made for that game. All right. And he said, he built you up so much, you walked out of the room feeling 10 feet tall. And he was walking down the corridor, and he said to the assistant manager, I can't remember who it was at the time at Man United. Mike Phelan, probably. And he said, when did we play Everton? He said, yeah, that's in 3 weeks' time. So he bigged him up so much. And he said, when they played in the League Cup final, and it was a choice between Alan Smith and Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was going to play number 9 that day at Wembley. Neither of them knew, and Alex Ferguson came into the dressing room and he said, that man there, he said, pointing at Alan Smith, he's been our best fucking player this season. Best fucking player by a mile. Player of the season, without a doubt. Absolutely fucking brilliant. And he said, that's why it breaks my fucking heart to tell him that Ruud's playing instead of him. He said, but that's the sign of a good manager, is knowing, not just knowing what formation to play, who to play, but where to play them, which games they need to play in which positions.
I mean, he's been the world's best football manager ever.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
and it's stuff like that.
Yeah, and
he was saying
there's a multitude of reasons why a player.
I was listening to something recently. It might have been the Guardian podcast. Other podcasts are available. I bet you didn't know that. They were talking about Mourinho.
Oh yeah,
and they were saying that, do you think football management's past his style of management?
Already?
Well, possibly. He's like a bully, isn't he? And they're saying that doesn't work nowadays, because football players don't give a shit if they're bullying them. They'll just ignore you any longer, because they don't have to rely on it, do they? Because they'll go and leave and get another job somewhere like it used to be. And they're saying, what Ferguson, he realised that. Yeah. And that was his longevity, because he, like said, I had to pack the hairdryer in because it just basically, they didn't care. They were just sitting there and I was shouting at them and they couldn't give a monkey, so I had to change the way. And you think that's why people like Mourinho have been left behind. Klopp, he's that right there, in my opinion. That's the world's best football manager right now.
I bet you
even better than that other clown at City.
I'll tell you what,
just saying.
I bet you, as much as fans look at, or people look at Klopp and think he must be their best mates, they look like they really be.
Oh no,
will not be even close to that. He's the manager. Yeah, what it comes down to is respect.
Yeah.
And when players lose respect for a manager and they're low on confidence and the things that aren't working. I watched the Sunderland thing, by the way.
It's good, isn't it?
And Chris Coleman summed it up perfectly for me.
Wasn't he good in that?
He was very good.
I found a new level of respect for that man.
And he said, it's confidence. If the confidence isn't there, doesn't matter how good the player is. You know, Alan Shearer scored goals for fun. Didn't he go 9 matches without scoring once or something? And everybody was saying, "Oh, he's terrible, he's rubbish." But it happens. The players do lose confidence. It doesn't matter how good they are. Confidence is not just about individual players. It's about the squad. It's about the team. It's about the staff. It's about the whole thing. You know, if you worked at MK Dons during the Robbie Nielsen time, and especially towards the end,
I hate to think.
And it was just a horrible place to be. And I kid you not, the second he was gone, I've said this a couple of weeks ago, there was like an influx of all those players that he got rid of all came back, and the mood lifted immediately. We didn't have a manager, but the mood lifted immediately, and everybody was much, much happier.
He was back, wasn't he? I seen his little face on the thing. Old Dan McKeechee.
Oh yeah, I saw him after the Colchester game. Yeah, he was with his kids.
He's at Arsenal now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
good for him. I'm pleased for him.
Good. Yeah, I saw a lot of people that day. There seemed to be
an influx.
An
Didn't see Robbie Nielsen,
no, funnily enough, we didn't know. Good. So yeah, just to sum up there, managers pick players and don't pick players based on whether they think they are the right man for the job. It's as simple as that. And whether you think that's right or wrong is irrelevant. It's not what you think. It's not what.
No.
You know, you can say all you like about this player should be playing, that player should be playing, he should be playing here, he should be playing there, he shouldn't be playing in this position. It does not matter. I just happen to know that the team spirit at the moment is sky high.
I actually think it is.
It is absolutely sky high. And coming off the back of what were fair losses, we can't argue. We didn't see the Cheltenham game, but we've had a good review, not impartial review, but an honest review there of the game, and the Northampton draw and everything, and then to come back out of that.
The Northampton draw, I think that was unfair on us, but like you say, games last 90 minutes, don't they? Or 96 minutes in that case.
Right, so what about that penalty then?
What penalty?
Cagsy taking it off Healy.
Well, he's a designated penalty taker, I should imagine.
There you go.
I find that. Is it
Chuck's
and then
already gone
Asgard?
off? I believe so, but it could be Cags. But Chucks is more likely to take the ball off Cags than Healy is to take it off Cags, and there is a hierarchy as well. So, even though Healy was on a hat trick,
I'll see one thing for that penalty. It was a belter.
It was very, very good. And
penalty.
Reece Healy was actually asked about it in the Man of the Match presentation after the game.
Did he get Man of the Match?
He did indeed.
Who did I give it to? I think I gave it to Asgard.
Asgard, yeah.
He won it for me.
There was some.
He was very good yesterday. I must
Alex
admit.
Gilby was very good. The ball from So.
Oh, he was.
Did you
see his goal?
And his goal, yeah.
His goal was a very good goal. That.
And who crossed it?
Lewington.
Big, fat, slow ginger bloke. Back down by that corner flag. He must have been left there from a previous corner.
Just been hanging
he
about.
just didn't move.
Been hanging about there since Colchester.
He did fuck all, did he? Absolutely fuck all.
No, he was very good, Osman. So I must admit, he was a spectacular. That was a really good goal. They were all quite good goals, weren't they?
Yeah.
Everyone. There was nothing. That was a very good penalty.
It was, and there was no. I mean, when he did that stop and only a few steps, but yeah, that went with some force.
I mean, he was to quote a very famous film, that goalkeeper was a big man, but he's out of shape. Him, God, he was an odd shape, that guy, wasn't he?
I can honestly say, usually you can, like we did with Macclesfield and to a lesser extent Morecambe, particularly Macclesfield. There were a couple of players in the Macclesfield team you felt you felt a little bit sorry for them because they were clearly playing the team that they were far too good for. But you look at that Cambridge team and you think, everything's gone there. And the telling thing was, like we say, the reaction of the fans.
If they manage to stay up, I'll not only stay up, if they're not bottom.
Yeah,
you can
lose games. You can lose games, and fans will accept a loss. And there was no fight in them. And again, it comes back to what Chris Coleman said. It's that confidence thing. You've gone 1-0 down in the fourth.
Who's manager there?
Minute?
Someone who's actually all right.
Colin Calderwood.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he's gone in to do a rescue job by the sound of it.
Sake. Phone up there's Tracy Brothers because they're not going to help him either. I mean, they had no shape. I'm harping on about it, but they had no shape. They had no. Even their tackles were half-arse, weren't they? Kind of sticking a lazy leg out. We were just jumping across it and away we went. They
just wanted to go home.
Yeah, they did, It was quite funny when the cowshed started singing Cambridge United Happy New Year. We were 6-0 down. You think you rub that in.
So the table reads...
Go on.
Lincoln played 25, won 15, drawn 6, lost 4, 4-20, goal difference plus 21. 51 points.
Ooh.
MK Dons, 25 played, 13 won, 2 less than Lincoln, 8 draws and 4 losses as well, plus 22, one better,
22, one better than
47 points. And then Mansfield, with a game in hand, I should add, with a game in hand, played 11, drawn 12, more than anybody else.
Do we not have a
in the
game in
league.
hand on Lincoln? No.
On a even with Northampton, but weird that Northampton have drawn 12 games and they're 16th. Mansfield have drawn 12 and
Who's
they're
bottom?
third. So bottom, of course, is Notts County. They're still there, believe it or not. They're still there.
And, where
And
are
their goal
Cambridge?
difference is minus 27. Cambridge are
Which are not even in the relegation
one above
zone.
the relegation zone.
How shit must those other two be?
Well, Macclesfield, so we know about that.
Well,
but
appalling.
more surprising is Morecambe are actually 20th. So then, yeah, Mansfield. We keep doing that, don't we? Game in hand, won 11, drawn 12, lost 1. Goal difference plus 19, 45 points. So 2 points behind us with a game in hand. And then, very interesting, Bury, Forest Green, Exeter, all on 43. Carlisle in the last playoff place on 42. Colchester, goal difference on 42 as well in 8th. And then it goes down to Tranmere 39. So it's a lot tighter than it was a few weeks ago.
That's because we've only got 4 points out of a possible 12.
Lincoln, lost 1, drawn...
Did you draw yesterday?
They drew yesterday, 94th minute, I think it was, 94th minute.
Yeah, that's better.
But Forest Green are going well, Mansfield doing well. Even, Cheltenham got a good win yesterday, I believe. 4-1 was it, I think? So it's an interesting league.
It does.
And I still think we will struggle to finish outside the top 3.
I'm not as confident about being champions as I was 2
Well,
weeks
again,
ago,
is
to
that
be quite
4
honest.
games, 4
Yeah.
points from those 4 games is if we're very honest, and we always are,
It's very poor
it is less than we thought it would be.
I thought we would get 12. if I'm being
But
blunt, mate.
to come out of the last one with a 6-0
Yes.
win, week off this week,
And
then,
yeah, the other good thing is we're not playing this week. Well, it's bad for us podcasting wise,
well,
but it's good for...
players won't enjoy that, not playing. They'll hate
Well,
that.
not even after having such a big Christmas
No,
period.
they hate not playing, especially if there's other games.
Old matey
going
boy
on.
looked quite happy, didn't he? Old Tiz yesterday, he was quite excited.
He
about
would be
having some
quite
time
excited,
off.
I would imagine. Yeah. So, shall we listen to this clip? Because I've got to play this
Yeah,
for
go
those
on.
for those that missed it. So, after the goals were shown on the Quest football
Is that
show
on
thing,
the telly or is it only on
it's
the
on the
internet?
telly. Yeah, it is
Oh,
on
I
the
can't
telly
be
as well.
bothered
Yeah,
finding
so but
that.
you can get it on Quest OD as
Get
well.
all the goals on Sky.
So they had, I've forgotten his name. His name's completely gone out of my head.
What, the guy that said it?
Yeah. So they sort of, and then the Irish fella says, so MK Dons, they must be loving it. 6-0 on that, goals galore. And this is what the other fella said.
Another fella says this.
MK Dons. What a reaction. 2 defeats in a draw over the Christmas period. That's what you call a reaction.
Exactly. Poor Tisdale probably wasn't too worried, but he'll be so pleased with this result after a couple of dodgy results. But they've got so many attacking options. They've got Akinde, they've got Asgard.
So
Fucking Asgard!
Akinde plays for Lincoln.
Who's a Kindear?
He plays for Lincoln. Akinde and Asgard. So that's got to be the title
Asgard,
of the podcast this
home
week,
of
isn't
Thor.
it?
Jesus,
Yeah. So
that is just a distinct lack of.
It is. It's a lack of. It's
you know,
disrespectful.
That's just a
to
guy
me.
rocking up, not
Yeah.
doing any.
At least the Irish fella has his
Yeah,
has his
better people.
has his iPad to look at, so
I mean,
he
they must-
doesn't get things wrong. But
They must prep them before. I know they have a lot of games to talk about, but they must prep them before. He must have known. Oh, hang on a minute, they've won 6-0. We're definitely going to talk about that.
So
I'll
I-
write down the goal scorers.
I want to know why we're not playing
Asgard.
why we're not playing Akinde and Asgard up front.
Yeah.
Because
Asgard would be good up
Tisdale
front.
out, mate. Tisdale out. And we also have to say MK Dons back to winning ways.
Back to winning
The
ways.
men from MK1.
Men from MK1 are back to
Tisdale's
winning
men.
ways.
Tisdale's men, yeah. Back to winning ways. So, yeah, we're pretty much done it. I know Sam tonight, you may have noticed.
No, Sam,
Unless
still
he's
not
been
here.
very quiet. Is he under this cushion?
Don't know where he is.
No, he's not here. So, no quiz, but that hopefully will be back next week. So, I've been thinking about this. You know what we don't have on this show?
What's that?
Other than us and Sam. I know we said we wanted guests. We do. So
guests.
send your applications to mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com.
But you must be able to come here
You must be able to travel to Stony Strip, no expenses,
on a Wednesday night.
on a Wednesday night.
Be able to talk
just
bollocks,
be able to
basically.
talk, yeah. So if you want to come on, you're more than welcome. We accept applications from everyone. Fans that are maybe new to
New to
MK
Milton
Dons
Keynes.
or Milton Keynes Dons or Ladies, we want to hear from ladies. We don't want this to be a show that is dominated by fat middle-aged men.
Nope. Although I'm quite thin.
Well, actually,
I put a lot of weight on
really
our Christmas. It
can't
must
really
be
count
said.
John as fat.
Put a lot on. I've ate a lot of chocolate over Christmas.
Oh, I have had food poisoning. It's not.
And I had a
pleasant at
massive
all.
2-person steak pie tonight.
Oh, love a
Just
steak
to
pie.
myself.
I had a
Like-
steak slice at lunchtime. Oh yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Beetroot, onions, oh mate.
Yeah. So we still haven't any more jingles. So
Nope.
again, that email address mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. If you want to come on the show, send us an email. Send us your name if there's a specific thing you'd like to talk about, so we can mock you in advance for it. We don't want to hear from people who are just going to moan endlessly.
Because I'm doing that every week as
Yeah,
it is.
that's John's
Having
job,
my space,
and
mate.
no one else can do that. So if you want to come on, please do drop us a line, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. But we want to hear from a wide variety of you. Don't be scared. We will happily take on anyone.
The email thing's gone quite well. I'm quite surprised that
Yeah,
people would be bothered.
Yeah, as
Quite honest.
considering what we used to get, which was
nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Recently.
But we do keep those jingles coming, because as shit as they might be, the shitter the better as far as
I
we're
might stick
concerned.
another one on.
Yeah, we
might
want
not.
to hear it. So I'm going to try and get some more sound bites from players or some other people
be good.
from if I can. What do we know about Rhys Healey? All that
Well,
Tisdale
he's
has
been-
said that he wants him.
Did you hear his
Yeah.
interview on 3 Counties? So
He's
we don't
been
need to go
asking
over what he
Cardiff,
said.
but Cardiff haven't come
Yeah.
back to him.
I think they've got bigger fish to fry, to be quite honest, at the minute, Cardiff.
Yeah, which makes you wonder why they would want him. I don't know.
Well, the guy sitting next to me yesterday said, "Oh, he's not Premiership quality," and I thought, "What are you on about?" I couldn't figure out why he was saying that, but then obviously I think what he meant was, "Oh, they'll take him back and play him." He's nowhere near good enough to play in the Premiership.
No, I
Unfortunately.
mean this is similar to Benica Phobie.
Yeah.
Benica Phobie was at Arsenal, obviously. Arsenal weren't looking to take him back from us to play him at Arsenal. They were taking him back to get some money for him.
Yes.
Which they did from Wolves.
Wolves.
Similarly with players like Patrick Bamford. Chelsea went to Middlesbrough for a few quid. Lightens their wage budget slightly, very slightly in the case of teams like Chelsea. But yeah, it's not about them going back to their parent club to play in the Premiership or even the Championship.
So we don't know what's
if they
happening
don't
with
want
him
them, can they get
as
rid?
of, what's the time? It is 10 to 9 on Wednesday, the
Second.
2nd of January. So by
Yeah.
the time you hear this, something might have changed. But Aiden's gone. I'm not surprised, or
No.
even, to be quite honest with you, that disappointed, really.
I have a question,
Gone.
because I don't know the answer. If Rhys Healey was not... I mean, you'd have to say, as he hasn't apparently heard anything from Cardiff, you'd have to assume he's going back to Cardiff, would you not?
Yes.
So, would a manager normally play that player in the knowledge that he probably would be going back to his parent club?
Yeah,
Or
I
is he
thought
playing
so.
him because he's
You
the
get
best
him.
man for the job?
No, he's playing him because he's a good player.
Yeah, exactly.
Evidenced by the fact that he scored 2 goals.
Yeah. And is...
Why would you not play him if you think, well, this is the last time I got him, I got to make hay while the sun shines?
I thought he looked a little bit frustrated at the beginning of the season, or when he first came, but he's grown into the team, and I think he is now definitely part of that team. And
Well, he
he
put a
looks like-
picture up, didn't he, on Twitter, on just before, I think it was last weekend. His new profile picture was him wearing a Dons
Yeah.
strip. So you're thinking, well, that's a bit weird, really.
Oh,
Unless it was-
this player that took the photo in the?
Unless it was like a thank you.
Who's this player that took the photo in the away changing room?
What picture? Who? I've not heard anything about this.
Have you not? Oh, everybody will know who I'm talking about now. I've mentioned it, but the player tweeted a photo which had written across it, "Take me to bed" or "Get me to my bed" or something like that. So he'd obviously travelled some distance to come in
right.
and have a trial and so on.
Oh, it wasn't a bloody... right.
Yeah, and the picture was in the away changing room at the stadium, so which is where the players congregate on a daily basis for training and so on. So that's interesting. I can't remember his name. I don't know anything about it. So yeah, good. I'm glad I mentioned that because I know fuck all about the bloke other than he was
heard
actually
anything
in that
about
dressing room. So and for a player to tweet
A picture.
a picture like that, ooh, you know. Who
I
knows? Who knows, mate?
What are we looking
But-
for? I mean,
Well, that's a good question. So we could
Well, let's
say
assume-
centre back cover because of injuries,
Yeah.
but
but you're not going to
JMT 's
get
back
anyone
on
that's
the
going
bench,
to pull
so-
up any trees if they're coming in as cover for centre back, are
no.
they?
And it is, in my opinion, anyway, other than probably goalkeeper, it is the hardest position centre back to cover
To cover.
because the centre backs do
Yeah.
they do come as a pair, and they tend to operate as a unit. I mean, one thing I always remember, more than a few managers have said, and Carl said it once, is that if you can keep your goalkeeper, your 2 centre backs, your central midfielders, your number 10 and your number 9 completely the same throughout the season, then you are going to win and you're going to get promoted.
Good.
And it doesn't matter if they're not the best players in the world, but the fact that they play together every single week, week in, week out.
So let's
makes a
assume
massive
then,
difference.
just for the sake of argument,
Yeah.
playing devil's advocate, that Chucks goes
Yeah,
and Healy goes back.
this
I
for me
think-
is a major problem with Chucks anyway.
You think?
Chucks is the goal he scored against Northampton, and again other goals that he scored this season. Other players wouldn't have been able to score them goals for a variety of reasons. Mainly that he's so big and strong.
Well, he's a big fella.
I mean, to be able to turn inside the 6-yard box against 2 defenders and score, you could blame the defenders for it. They should never ever allow a player to turn in that space and score.
Bloody ukulele.
But I can't. Chucks is.
He's different.
he's
to
not-
what we've
he's not
got at the
unique.
minute.
He's not
Apart
unique,
from him,
but-
there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
There's no one
again,
else like him.
This is one of the things that, again, I try and communicate to fans about players. You know, go back to what the fella said about Asgard in the warm-up and his first touch. We all know sometimes his first touch isn't the best. But if it was the best and he was scoring goals, he wouldn't be playing in League Two. He wouldn't
No.
be playing for MK Dons.
This is what
If
people
Chucks
have to
didn't get
realise.
injured so often,
He wouldn't be.
he
with
wouldn't
us.
be playing
He'd
for
be in
us.
the Championship.
if Darren Potter scored 15 goals a season, 20 goals a season, he'd still be at Liverpool, or he'd be at least in the
This
Championship.
is what people have to realise.
It's not about it. Yes, I don't. I get really wound up, but players play for the clubs they play for a reason,
For a reason.
and they play at the level they play at for a reason.
Can't
And it's
argue with that.
nothing to do. There is the ability side of it, but there are so many different facets to a player's game, and not just what he does on the pitch, but what he does off the pitch, what he does on the training ground, how he interacts with the other players. You know, a player can be ostracised if he doesn't fit in with a group, and that can affect the way he plays. I've seen it with my own eyes. A very good player who just lost all confidence and fell out of the group because the group didn't accept him for something that happened that I can't go into, but it was one of the saddest things I've seen. He's now doing very well for himself, to be fair, because he is a good player, but there are so many different things that can affect a player's performance and the team's performance, and if there's a certain player in the squad and they don't like him, he finds out very quickly.
And some players don't like one another, do they?
No,
Simple as
they
that.
don't. And they will play together, and they'll play very well together, but they might not say a word to each other off the
Sheringham
pitch.
and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't like one another.
Did they not?
No.
Oh,
I might
that's
have made that
interesting.
up, Tony. I've just
Well,
probably did.
Well, let's say they didn't, but they
I'm
did
pretty
fine
sure
together
they
on the
didn't.
pitch.
Yeah, but I was reading something about John Anarisa. He's got a book out, and he talks about that time that old Bellamy hit him with a golf club.
Oh, yeah.
And on the very next day, or like when they were in that final, Bellamy's running on, isn't he? And he squares the ball off, and they've not talked to one another. Like,
Yeah.
he hit him with a golf club, didn't he? So, let's be honest, they're not close friends, but he still squared the ball off to him, and Risa scored, and they were all hugging and thing. You think, there is a level of professionalism.
There is. And
But-
it goes all the way. I've seen very good friends come to blows at half-time in the Dons changing
Oh,
room.
dear.
But it's about that moment. It's about that game. It's about what's going on right there
Hmm.
and then. But after the game, or as soon as you're back on the pitch, or even 5 seconds later, it's done. It's gone. You've dealt with it. It's happened. Let's move on. But yeah, for players,
So if they go then-
not to talk to each other,
So if he
there must be
goes,
other reasons. I
and then
suppose.
Healy goes back, what do we do?
All right. So
then?
what we got? We've got.
Well, you would have to assume that we're after someone else.
And what are our other options? We've got Dylan. We've
Nah,
got
he's not an
Brandon.
option.
Neither of which I
they're
think,
not
if
ready.
anything, I think. I mean, remember when George Baldock went to Oxford, and
Yeah, they loved him there.
they
he
loved
done
him,
well
and he
there.
came back a different player.
man,
he
yeah,
came
he
back
did.
a different player, and I hold my hands up. And good old Gordon will tell you, I was the one that said I don't think he's good enough, and I think his level might be League Two at best.
Aye.
But he came back an absolutely different player,
He
and now
did.
look at him, and he's
He is.
confident, he's strong,
I think they're too young and they're not ready. I don't think those two
No.
kids.
I mean-
So what you have got then is bloody Osman Soul.
Did all right yesterday.
Did all right yesterday.
The pass
but-
for Kieran's penalty was excellent.
Yeah.
The goal was a great finish. He's in the right place at the right time.
And he has been eased back gently. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. It's difficult. I mean, we're just speculating here. It could be
We
that
are.
Gillies stays. I'm not sure.
If we get someone else in, again, it's not
It
to
would have to
say
be
that
someone
they'll
good.
fit in straight away.
And
either.
there is a rumour, a strong rumour going about the internet in the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it, to be quite honest.
Who?
That's Stockley from
Oh yeah.
Exeter.
Yeah. Is that the fella that took the photo in the change room? It could be him.
Could be
Could be him.
We've
In
just
which
put
case, that
out.
means he was at the stadium. So that doesn't necessarily mean he'll sign, of course, because I've
No.
seen many a player. Some you'd
He's
very raised eyebrows about
quite
who
a
didn't sign.
high.
Oh, 750.
And 50.
But they did fuck all with JMT.
So I'm just saying.
That makes about as much
yeah.
sense as building a stadium with 3 temporary
It does,
stands, doesn't it? Yeah.
Fucking idiots.
Great financial sense,
No
that
roof.
does, yeah.
The funniest thing about that is, of course, they're sponsored by a roofing company. Which is even
Could you
funnier.
imagine that, right? So
know.
you work for a company,
Yeah.
right? And you say, right, what
Let's
we're going to do
see.
is we're going to build a new head office,
Right. Oh,
right? Lovely offices.
offices.
That it's going to be 4-sided, but 3 other sides
we can
going to be
take
temporary
a-
office space, which we'll rent at great expense.
Yeah, we will.
And then, when we've got enough money to build a permanent replacement for one of those stands, which we'll then obviously have to take away, we'll lose revenue because
We'll
they
be
won't be
building
able to
it.
people. Yeah, so
It's almost as if no one's got any forward planning there.
it's
Tony.
almost as if they're just absolutely
A bunch
desperate
of
to
amateurs.
get into that particular part of the country.
I tell you where
which,
they're
by
not
the way, has got the
getting
wrong
back to. I was just
postcode.
going to say that. It's not even SW19, is it? It's SW17.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's hilarious. You know.
Oh,
So could
they
you
certainly
imagine?
the
Could you
gift
imagine
that
that?
keeps on giving there.
Can you imagine if you sat down in front of your chief
We
executive
did say we were never
officer?
going to talk about them.
Yeah,
but
I know,
sometimes
but
you
I just think that's
can't,
hilarious. Yeah, we're going to build a stand with 3 temporary stands, and yeah, so when we're building the other, I just financially that just cracks me up.
I mean,
And someone
say?
replied to me, "Well, what would you do if you didn't have the money to build it in the first place?" Well, I'd wait till I did.
I'd wait until we
I'd
did.
wait
yeah.
till I
I'd stay
did.
where I was.
Yeah.
But, you know. What can you
Oh,
do?
do you know what I really hope?
Go on.
One of them wouldn't be hilarious if it ended up with the old cowshed from the National Hockey Stadium.
That'd be
'Cause
hilarious,
that came
wouldn't
from Silverstone, didn't it?
It did,
I think?
yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that
I know where
could
that
that
is.
possibly happen.
Tell you exactly where that is. That's at
Is that
that Fenny Stratford
Fenny Strat-
Irish Centre thing.
what is it? Buckingham is it? Or
I
is
think
it
it
Buckingham?
is.
Buckingham Town.
Somewhere
We went there,
like
didn't we, on
We did, yeah. We
non-league
did.
day?
Twice I've been. It's been 2 good days, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they were there, the old seats.
And with the sign that said no
Yeah,
standing.
no standing.
Oh, happy days. Happy days.
So
So there
I
you
don't
go.
know
We're
what to
second.
say.
If you want to come on the show, mkdonsradioshow@gmail.com. Send us an email. We want to speak to you all. We want you all on the show.
We do.
We're
Not
gonna
all of you.
We're going to get Gordon on at some point.
There's some of you not coming on.
Lee Scriven has agreed to
That
come and
Albie's
see
not
us.
coming on.
Albie
He's not coming
again
on.
spat at me
Did he?
at Northampton.
I didn't see him at
Spat
Northampton.
at me. It wasn't so much the spitting; it was the look he gave me.
I didn't
And then
see
did
anyone there.
the knife across the throat
Oh,
thing as
dear.
well. So you know,
I don't want that, do you?
well, at least he stopped sending me the letters.
I seen South Stander. We had a wee talk about the old firm game. We were both very pleased with the outcome.
I would sure you were. I'm sure you were.
I was very excited about that.
I
think
did
that's
wonder
it.
why Bletchley was very
I
quiet.
didn't see anyone else at all, and it was packed as well. I couldn't see.
Oh,
it
yeah,
because
well, it's weird, isn't it? All those people there, but you
Can I
don't
just
see
have
the
a
people
quick
you
word
know.
about their stewarding there?
I have to say, for once,
Go on, because I've
for
got...
once,
Go.
the first time in several visits where they've not been arseholes.
I thought
let's
they
put it
were
that way.
fantastic, the stewards, I must
Yeah.
admit. There was one guy there, and he was the head steward. He was a black guy. He was the funniest guy I have ever
Yeah.
seen, because just about 5 minutes before kick-off, there was a bit of an influx, and all these big gang of fellas who were obviously intent and walking in and standing behind the goal, and they were physically stopped by some stewards, and there was a lot of police who came bombing up. But this guy, and I swear to God, within the space of 2 or 3 minutes, he had all these guys laughing. So I'm
Yeah.
thinking, that's the way to do it, mate.
is.
You
It's
know, and
exactly
he
the way
was
to do it.
fantastic, that guy. I mean, I ain't got any, it's a shit job, and I wouldn't like to do it. A load of drunk blokes turning up, and you've got to arm wrestle them and all. But that's the way to do it. It's to be nice to people. But,
We have had previous with air stewards for reasons that were never made clear about sitting in the right seats and so on. I did point out to the chap that, one, there's someone sitting in my seat, and two, I'm not actually entirely sure if it is my seat because half the row I'm supposed to be sitting in hasn't got numbers on them. So I have to say, well done to their medical people for getting in so quickly and helping out two of our fans who were overwhelmed.
Did we have some trouble?
We had a little bit of, there was a couple of our regulars, our away fan regulars, disabled fans were quite distressed.
I seen one guy being helped away by a young woman, a steward and a member of the medical staff.
Yeah.
He was limping quite badly. I seen that.
But they dealt with it very well, and they were very nice to them.
Them.
Well done.
You got to give credit when it's due. I mean, you go to these places and sometimes the guys are just dickheads, but when they're all right, you've got to give them credit. And I can
only imagine that they've had a talking to, because 3 or 4 previous occasions they have been utter twats.
Do you remember that time?
Completely unreasonable.
Not the last time we went, but the time we went, it was for a cup game. Remember that? And someone let a thing off, and we were talking about Gordon. Remember when he was trying to calm everyone down?
Yeah.
And then on the old bloody moo camp or whatever, there was someone putting... The strangest thing was, there was an older guy. He was the leader. He was trying to orchestrate them. We think, what is Gordon they're talking about? That was very funny, that.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh, that was years ago. Someone let off. At least there was no flares let off. Which is good.
When someone spotted a new face on the bench at a pre-season friendly, and our old mate, I'm not going to name him, Mr. I'm Never Wrong, we know who we're talking about here, he said that the fella sat between me and Carl on the bench was the new club psychologist that everybody had been talking about. Turns out who was actually sitting there was Benicophobe.
Oh, right. He's got hidden depths. Told me that.
Yeah, so... Yeah, the funny thing, the psychologist is actually sitting about two seats down from from where we were.
When the plane stops, they've got to think about the future, Tony.
Yeah.
Psychology. He'd be a good psychologist, the Benicophobe.
Yeah, he would. What do you want to do? Want to score goals? Right, we're going to score goals then. Off you go. Go and score some.
That'd be us. So we done.
Yeah. I think we are, mate. Do you want to go give a prediction for... We're not going to do a prediction for Bury, or should we wait till next week?
I'll wait till next week.
Yeah.
We'll still do a podcast, but God knows what we'll talk about.
In fact, there you go. There you go. MK Don's Radio Show at
send questions
gmail.com. Send us your questions.
Yeah, let's have next week.
In fact, we might even have more than one. We might have 2 people. We might even have a little conflab.
Yeah.
A half-season wrap, shall we say. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right, we'll have you... how many people can we get in here?
I could get another 2 in.
Another 2. All right, we want another 2 guests. We'll pick you at random, or if we like you. So, Albie...
You don't bother me.
Don't bother, mate. It's all right. We'll call you.
We're not calling you back.
Yeah.
Right, we're done.
Well, there you go. That's it. I think I haven't got anything else on my list, have you?
No, I've not.
No, right, we're done.
That's us. Right, that's us. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
We'll see you next week.
We will indeed.
Right, we're off. Bye.
Ta-ra.